What would we like?
Your...
My ethnicity? Because I'm an American.
Your race.
My race? Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't want to offend you.
No. It's all right. You guys are gonna use this for like fucking credits and shit, like me being like,
Exactly.
Okay. My name is Gordon Belanger, and I'm half Filipino, 3/8 French, and 1/8 German. Sort of, but mostly American. Fuckers.
Hell yes.
But people always like to ask, what's your ethnicity? Especially when you're somewhat brown. But that's the wrong question, because ethnicity is tied to culture. And culturally, I am an American. I'm not a Filipino, because I don't speak Tagalog or know anything about that culture other than Manny the Pac-Man. And I don't identify with like European culture at all. I mean, I like it. It's cool stuff, but it's not who I am. I'm an American. And so when people ask, what's your ethnicity? I say, I'm an American. Culturally, I am an American. That's how I grew up and that's how I live. But what they're really asking, of course, is what race are you? Which I don't find an offensive question at all. Race is just race. It's something that we need to acknowledge. It's not something that you can just sort of, like, no, it's not that you can, let me take that again. Or just keep rolling, whatever. American culture is very strongly identified with white people. It's just how it's been since the founding fathers and all of that. I mean, think about it. The Constitution was initially created only giving representation to landed white gentlemen. And that's just where the culture is sort of evolved from. The Protestant ideals and everything that goes into this white picket fence sort of culture. It's got to do with white people. Think about something like Death of a Salesman, which is written by Arthur Miller, which is about the death of the American dream. You can't just plug in like an African American family or a Latino family or a Chinese family without asking certain questions. An audience is going to go and sit down and say, it's interesting that the father is Chinese and the mother is white, or that both parents are African American. What is the director trying to say creatively about what America looks like today, and whether the American dream is dead for them also? Which aren't bad questions to ask, but it's not what the play is about. The play is just about the death of the American dream. And it's irritating to some extent that I can't go into a production like that without even asking myself certain questions like that. Hamlet I did, but Shakespeare's different. Shakespeare is its own bag of worms. It's so pretty. So pretty. Yeah. Why do this monologue right now? I mean, hell, I didn't even know I was going to do a monologue today, but it's a very intimate monologue and very personal. I think anyone who takes on Hamlet understands that. Or you're doing it wrong, in my opinion. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die. To sleep no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream, aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurs that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fathers bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to those we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. But softy now, the fair Ophelia. That's when Ophelia enters.
Excellent.
Ah, thank you.